Today we're going to have a look at some of what I just showed you there, and that's called slap bass. I definitely would have played something to you in the lessons. We might have had a go at it very simply in lessons, and this is going to be really going over that beginning bit of learning how to do it and then going straight on into kind of creating your own bass line using slap bass. So the first thing, what is slap bass? Slap bass is where we try to create a rhythmic bass line as if it was a drum beat. So we're using our thumb as like a kick drum, and we're using those pull-offs as like our snare hits, and in between those bits are all kind of like cymbals and added bits that are in drums. The goal really is to just create a rhythmic pattern that sounds really nice together. We're going to start with what we do with our thumb. The thumb is one of the main kind of features. So to start with, we're just going to mute our strings. To mute your strings, if you haven't done it before, you're just going to rest your fingers on it. You're not going to play any notes, just rest your fingers on them. Okay, so the trick with our thumb, it wants to go through the string. We're kind of coming in at a bit of an angle, hitting the string and landing on top of the string below. So just that. So that gives us this as open notes and this as closed notes. So we're just going to do an easy pattern. It's just going to go open, closed, open, closed. Just get that to start with. Now, don't worry if by chance you don't always get it to ring out. Sometimes you miss a string, sometimes you won't hit it hard enough, it won't ring out. Don't worry about it, it happens. The more you do it, the less it will happen. So, next part. We're now going to do open. And rather than playing for the second part, we're just going to slam our fingers on the strings and make that clacking noise here. So that's our basics of slap with the thumb. What I want you to do, take that away, probably stop here, take that away, get that sounding as good as you can, and then come back for the next part where we're going to be looking at popping. So we've got slapping and the muting at the minute. Just that for now. Alright? So I'll see you in a sec. So popping is the next part. We've got a slap, we've got a mute. So we're going to pop. So here it is. So that part, that kind of ringing high end pop. Here's the trick. First, second or third finger is going to go underneath the string. So it's like this, so you can see. You lift it up and drop it back down. So lift it up, pop it back down into place. So should be our note. So if we make the general kind of thing we use for practicing this is this: thumb, mute, pop. And I actually added in the next bit we're going to do there, where you thumb, mute, thumb, pop. Once you've got that sounding quite consistent, that's really where we're going to be able to start creating our own bass line with it. For now, just use those muted and open strings. It's the easiest way, and actually for a lot of our bass line we're going to use those open strings. We're going to use this set of notes that covers kind of the 5-7 area and our open strings. So you might come up with something like this. That could be your bass line. And what you're going to do is you're going to repeat it, try and get it sound really consistent, and basically end up with something that would be a really slow slapped bass line. Don't try and go too fast, or you will come up with mistakes and it will just be more difficult than you're probably able to at the minute. So we're just trying to focus on getting our thumb, our fingers working together and getting a nice little pattern that we can practice on repetition. If you want, you can just practice that one. It's really good to practice that one, but it is a little bit boring come down the road. And especially a lot of you who might have already practiced that one with me, starting to add in a few notes and develop your own practice, like kind of routine, is really, really good. And coming up with your own little practice pattern. I know I always do this like kind of double pop, the one that you've all seen me do that. That one there with the little double pop at the end. That's just my little practice one that I run myself. And I came up with that myself, I think. So I'm asking you to do the same. Come up with your own little practice routine, baseline, slapping that you can figure out. And if you've got any questions, stick them in the comments below, send me a message, and I'll help you out to try and get there. All right, see you later, guys. Bye. So for some of you, you've gotten past that last stage, you've gotten a bit further, and you want to try something a little bit harder. So I'm going to show it to you now. What we're actually going to try and do is we're going to try and come up with a pattern that exists over multiple strings and maybe in a few positions. So it could be something along these lines. The trick for that is we're just going to focus on, rather than creating a really elaborate slapping pattern with our right hand, we're going to focus on more movement with our left hand, making sure that we're moving between notes more elegantly, I guess, and making use of those thumbs as markers for when we move. It's way more difficult than it sounds, and you might find it really, really tricky. So just come up with something that you like the sound of. If it sounds good, awesome. If you're having issues with it, give me a shout and I'll see if I can help you out. Cheers, guys.